everybody. Welcome back to another Stone-Faced Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we're here to watch some more Iron-Blooded Orphans. And last time, the revolution is in full swing. We skipped past all that fighting people stuff. We got the King Arthur's sword, or his mech, or both. Uh, Ein's back. He's clearly having a great time trying to kill his murderer. And, yeah, that's about all that covered in the episode, right?
I mean, there was a lot of in the moment stuff, which I don't feel like it's hard to parse in a middle between episode thing. I
Yeah.
think the main thing that we're left with is that the revolution now is fully and truly on. McGillis has given his statement of dictatorship, essentially.
Yep.
Whoever controls the weapon controls the world. And then we've been given our counter revolutionary stance. We're literally in the final 5 episodes of Gundam Wing. The two fleets are now mobilized facing one another, which in this case is 40 ships on the far side of the moon, possibly 20 more ships on the Galahorn Rebellion side. It's hard to tell because, once again, these orphans probably never went to school. Math, who knows how much. They're piloting starships, but at the same time,
They
it
had a whole schooling episode. They learned to spell their names. They're good now.
those were the other kids, not the ones that were talking.
I guess
Uh,
the teenagers already knew. It's
it's
fine.
it's hard to tell if they're because with the Elena Vignana system, you're not doing complex vector mathematics and figuring out which, if I point this thruster this way with this much force and angle the other one this way, I'll spin at this degree, which will bring my hammer down with this much newtons of force. It seems more likely that it's running on some sort of instinctual engine and that these kids
Yeah,
probably can't add.
that's about how they've described it before. But yeah,
Right.
it was the McGillis episode. We got a whole lot of good stuff with him, his feelings about things, that he's out for power, and now he has it. And like you said, the important thing, it is fully on. The two sides are decided, and now they're going to go ahead and get into conflict.
Just remains to be seen who's going to want to unleash what super weapon.
Oh yeah, that's right. We still have the 0 hour super weapons that can happen.
Well, I mean, we already know that
It is Gundam.
apparently they're called dinosaurs, are still out there, which is a super weapon that takes out ships fairly easy. Because as we've seen in said episode, it goes through nano,
Nano laminate armor.
yeah, nano lander armor.
I don't know why I remember that.
For some reason, I was thinking nano composite armor, but realized that was wrong. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a different video game.
goes right through nano laminate armor, which is apparently what covers most of these ships.
Mhm.
And we know that the Galahorn main forces have it. I don't know if the Galahorn rebel forces have it.
Uh, well, we're about to see. They do have Kujon, and he did steal them all and use them all. So presumably, if he and Rustle are hanging out together, then they have all the banned weapons right now.
Well, we know they're on a team. We don't know if they're hanging out together. Because remember, we saw him doing some weird
He
calligraphy thing
he's
last episode.
technically under house arrest. Yeah, he's technically under house
Is
arrest.
he?
That's what they said last time. He's just practicing calligraphy because he's got nothing else to do except to tell his subordinates to go and vouch for him again.
Were they vouching for him? I don't. I
Yeah,
think
40 of them came to the bridge over time to beg that Kujan get a second chance.
that's not what I heard. I heard them begging for themselves to be sent down to the surface to
No,
fight as the vanguard.
no, they were asking for Kujan to have the chance to do so. That was what the text
The
was.
things you miss when you're making sarcastic remarks.
Understandable. Mm. But so he's in a box right now. He might get removed from the box later. He probably will. It would make sense for him to like go out there, say I'm going to restore my honor, and then die.
He's not really in a box. He's in an odd place. He is clearly an Indian male, right?
Mhm.
In a very, very Japanese 1700s room doing calligraphy. So he's just in all sorts of nationality based stuff right now.
He's all over the place, but yeah, no, I feel like they will probably draw upon him again. That's my feeling. Not this episode, but probably in the future.
It's like it's very weird. I don't know if it's like a Japanese thing where in their future world everything is still somewhat heavily inspired by Japan, but it seems
It
also like they didn't realize the rest of the world. Eddington. Eddington,
it
that
it's
sounds like a familiar place. Where is that?
it
Britain? No, that must be in Canada.
it
Eddington,
it
Canada.
shows it's chauvinism. It's wherever you made it is the most important place on Earth. It's why Doctor Who, it's like everything revolves around Britain, right? Because that's where it's made.
Isn't chauvinism a male versus female thing?
I'm hoping I use the word right. But
Well,
anyway,
no, because if I called you a chauvinist, that's not nationality based.
dude,
That's sex based. Quick, look it up. Make sure I'm not wrong.
militant devotion to glorification of one's country,
Chauvinist?
followed by prejudiced belief in the superiority of one's own gender, group, or kind. All right, yeah, there you go. I was correct. It is a broader term, but yeah, it's also why all anime focuses around Japan and everything is important about it. And obviously, if you got a show from China, everything would be China centric, and if you got one from anywhere else, same thing. That's just the way it goes because that's just the place where people are making the stuff. You
It's
know.
very weird. I've never heard that word used in a country or patriotic manner. I want the
I
record to
have, which
show.
is why I used it
So I
that way.
want the record to show that I just posted you an image of male chauvinist pig, which
Oh
is
no, no, you're totally right. That is also how people use it. But we've expanded our vocabulary today.
I have never heard anybody use it any other way. It is surprising to me that the first definition on Google is about patriotism.
Yep. Anyway, so while we're on this topic, let's go ahead and watch the episode.
I, Galio Bodwin, declare here and now.
I will kill the traitor of Gallerhorn. McGillis.
Rustel Elion put you up to this, no doubt. Very well. Challenge accepted.
This is Rusto Elion, commander of the Arianrod fleet. Our fleet has been keeping Galio Bodwin under our protection for quite some time. He informed us about McGillis Farid's offenses and exposed him for the criminal he is. In one of these heinous acts, Farid plotted to gain control of the Outer Earth Orbit Regulatory Joint Fleet, and in doing so, he caused the death of Commander Carta Issue.
Damn right.
He also took over his family.
These two just have no idea what's going on. They're not getting plot moments.
So they're in
He has
lockdown at the
also
moment.
conspired to take possession of the Bodwin family by killing Galio Bodwin and making Almiria Bodwin his wife.
It's okay, Miss Almiria.
If that wasn't enough, his current actions have brought dishonor upon Gundam Biome, which is the very symbol of Gallerhorn. In it sleeps the soul of our founder, Agnika Cairo.
Oh, it also has a brain in it. Cool.
This isn't good. Are things still going according to plan?
Yes, they are, without a doubt. The old men of the Seven Stars will have no choice
Even
but to
if we
bow to
must
Bile's
break
authority.
Gallerhorn's laws, we will not rest until the traitor McGillis Farid is brought to justice.
Huh. You sure about that?
There's no need to worry. Gallerhorn has rules that you would only understand if you were an actual member. We'll discuss everything in more detail once we've met up with the General.
Once we figure out our exposition.
Excuse me, comrades.
Who's he calling comrades?
Hey boss, what did he mean by rules only Gallerhorn understands?
Our hands are tied. That is, till Mika comes back. We'll have to wait. Sorry to keep you. Once the shuttle arrives, why don't you head back first? We'll be right behind you.
It really feels like all it would take is
You had
one
your surgery,
sniper.
didn't you?
Mika's down,
Didn't
out,
work for adults.
done.
Tell me, the Black Greys you fought at Edmonton, exactly how well do you remember
Probably
that
why they do
fight?
it after they win.
Well, I wouldn't say that I remember it, but it popped into my head earlier.
A Gallerhorn soldier was connected to that mobile suit. It was all part of a series of experiments. Experiments that would lead up to the day I'd be able to pilot Bile. So that the Alea Vignana surgery could be performed on an adult like myself. The Alea Vignana system was originally developed by what is now Gallerhorn. They came to view body modifications as taboo and prohibited them within Gallarhorn. Yet they failed to recognize one important fact, something they had completely forgotten. The legendary mobile suit required the Alea Vignana. Now, whether they know it or not, their selective amnesia and self-preservation is what will make my ascent as Gallarhorn's leader that much easier.
General, we should be going.
Yeah, you should stop
Right.
gloating.
We'll meet again, Mikazuki August.
Yes, let's
Stop
board the
gloating, start going.
let's board the giant brick of an airplane that's right behind us.
But yeah, no, he laid everything out right there pretty sufficiently. And I was right, like, yeah, they completely forgot that they need the Alea Vignana. He got it. New information was, of course, the experiment was entirely to get to this point that he could do it. I didn't realize there was an actual point to it. I thought he was just doing it for fun.
Many in Gallarhorn have tried to activate Bile, but throughout its long history,
So I haven't
not one
paused.
has succeeded in accomplishing this task. You can't
I said
deny
I haven't
the fact.
paused.
Bile is
Okay.
permitted
I'm
to
telling you,
be
the
alone
edits
sit atop
for all this
its
stuttering and shit is horrible. I hate doing
is
it.
an indisputable
All right,
fact.
give me a timestamp
You
then.
all have
All
no
right, I'm gonna
choice
give you a
but to
timestamp
obey
5
me
seconds
from
ahead of where
now
I am,
on.
so
Disobeying
you have 5 seconds to
means
match up.
disobeying Agnika Kairu, or even worse,
5:45.
denying the very existence of Gallarhorn itself.
But Lord Elion's broadcast earlier presents a major problem that cannot be ignored.
Exactly!
And you haven't missed anything. This is all just recap.
Was Lord Elion speaking the
Yep.
truth, McGillis? Did you try to kill Kylio?
My dear father, you have nothing to fear. Now that I've been chosen to pilot Bile, all these trivial accusations are nothing more than a nuisance.
Trivial accusations! How dare you say that after trying to kill my son?
Have you forgotten that I'm also your son? Everything I've done has been to
No, I'm
protect
sorry,
the
he meant your
reputation of
real
Bodwin
son.
family.
Not the one I
Of
adopted.
Gallarhorn.
You're not making any sense!
Real Dio moments up in here.
Well, this is a Macaulay
There's
Culkin
no
movie
need
called
for you
The
to
Good
understand
Son,
this, or for
where the
us to
adopted
speak
son
to
tries
each
to
other
kill
at
the
all.
real son
My words are now the words of Agnika Kairu.
and daughter, by the way,
As members of Gallarhorn,
which is literally
you
played
have
out.
but one duty to
Carta
perform.
is dead.
Obey me.
This is just the anime version, not the Good Son.
So let's begin. All ground forces under your control are now mine. Relinquish them immediately. Gallarhorn will be united as one. And our first mission will be removing the traitor Rustal Elion, who defies Bile.
Allow me to congratulate you on your safe return, Gaelio Bodwin. Your face looks more determined than before.
It took a while.
Now
to
that I
decide.
can
I'm
see
sorry.
it.
Bile is in his hands now because of me.
Every large organization has hidden, pus-filled wounds. It comes with the system itself. This uprising coming from the young officers
Gotta love
is
that. It's
exactly
okay if
that.
systems are a little
From
corrupt.
time to time,
Bye.
the pus must be drawn out.
This is going to be a massive battle.
If we are to pass Gallarhorn onto future generations, then it's one we must fight. You'll help me, I trust?
Of course. Chief, please see to my machine's conversion.
Will do. All hands remove Vidar's camouflage, and don't forget the dummy reactors.
They got
Hurry!
camouflage.
Pardon the interruption.
You don't
sir,
remember?
but Master Eok has arrived.
It's supposed to look like a different mech.
Sorry, sir.
Ah,
You certainly are quite the foolish family head.
You speak nothing but the truth, Master Rustal.
Many of your subordinates died because of your careless judgment. But in spite of that, your men still look up to you with reverence. And do you know why? Because of history.
History?
Your father, the late Lord Kuja, was an incredible man.
Sorry, I meant
The
his story.
subordinates who admired him in the old days hoped to catch a glimmer of him in you. They've been with you since your youth. Even if you were to continue going about things the wrong way, they've seen how you love your people and act with blatant honesty. McGillis boasted that he'd reform the obsolete ways of the organization. But despite his claims, he still relies on an old Gallarhorn legend. Legend and history
call
are
that
alike, but
hypocrisy.
different. It's true that Gallarhorn began its existence.
we call
with
that
Agnika
forgetting
Kairu, But
details.
the history of our great organization was built without the help of Agnika. Harmony with those around us. Unity. All this is possible because we're an organization.
Master Rustal.
If he valued this, he could have proven it by respecting history and denying Agnika.
There you are, my dear Almeria. What are you doing with that?
My brother was alive all along.
Best girl in the show.
Listen,
I said a long time ago.
Alive! And apparently you were the one who tried to have him killed in the first place. So that's why... I'm going to kill you, Mackie!
I understand. Go ahead, kill me if you must. I welcome it, if it's at the hands of one whose life is more precious than my own.
Liar!
Oh, I hate him.
I love you.
It's a lie! It's all a lie! You've been tricking me this entire time! Your kind eyes and words were nothing but a pack of lies!
Almeria.
I can't. I don't understand. Why, Mackie? Tell me. I love you with all of my heart. Even after everything bad that you've done. And that's why I'll be the one to die.
Well, anybody I like. Ah, she failed. Damn it.
There you go.
Mackie.
My dear Almeria, even if your precious heart yearns for death, I cannot let you have what you want under any circumstances. Don't you recall? I made you a promise long ago. I promised that I'd make you happy. I gave you my word.
How can you say that? I can never be happy again. Not after this.
Yes, I know. You can hate me now if that's your wish. But in spite of that, if you stay alive for me, one day in the distant future, I'll make sure that you look back at this time, and regardless of everything that has happened, you will be happy in the end.
I hate this fucking liar.
Yeah. I was like, this is some heavy manipulation right here.
Of a little girl, no
Lord
less.
Bucklazon wishes to see you immediately.
Very well.
I don't care that he like
I'll
got
be
stabbed
right
in the
there.
hand. You know this dude would get stabbed anywhere if it furthered his goals.
For him, it's just like, this is okay, I'll do it.
Nothing Mackie says makes any sense.
He's a liar.
And I'm crazy. We're still loving him.
I'm in the weird position of
Hush!
you should just jump off the edge of the balcony and kill yourself. My favorite female character of the show.
The worst thing to possibly say.
I heard your plan was a success. So explain yourself. Why do we have to fight the Ariane Rod?
While it is true we Galahorn members cannot defy Bile, it's also true that we cannot obey you and your orders either.
Given the unique situation, we will remain neutral throughout the duration of this affair.
So you're intent on defying orders from the one who pilots Bile? You realize this means you're disobeying the rules of Galahorn.
Those rules are from a time gone by where we needed a powerful individual to defeat the mobile armors.
Says the space aliens.
Let you use others like pawns in
I like how he just gets talked over.
Stars have no intention of rebelling against Bile, which is precisely the reason we don't intend on helping the Ariane Rod fleet either.
Failing to secure their cooperation came as a surprise. But this is why we must show our power. They need to know just how strong we are, and how strong Bile is.
How are we gonna do that?
Since we can't count on the forces of the other lords, we'll have to confront the Ariane Rod fleet with what we currently have at our disposal.
We don't have enough.
I've arranged for equipment to be sent over from my fleet, and I'll join you as soon as I can.
Hold on.
Listen to my words carefully, Orga, as this will be the last battle for us and...
Oh gosh, this is gonna be like 5 episodes of setup for one battle.
Orga?
Again, they're main characters, though. They literally stood up in front of entire fleets and not gotten hurt.
If the Arianrod fleet is our enemy, we'll just crush them and
It's gonna be 5 hours into the battle, so each episode is gonna cover 1 hour each.
Yeah, we're jumping into Dragon Ball Z timeframes.
Alright, boys, let's take Barbatos to the main deck.
It will be destroyed in 15 seconds after this commercial break.
That's, one of the units I ordered from Tewas.
It was in the equipment storage area. And if I'm not mistaken, it's one of our weapons, right?
Yeah, you're right. Send it over
now
to
they're
the
using
Sego
the illegal
just in
weapons.
case.
We're gonna have another battle on our hands, huh?
Time for the account to step up.
Yeah.
As the final
I
battle.
see that you've decided to stay on with Tekkadan too.
Yes, well, it's not like I have anywhere else to work at the moment.
You could literally work anywhere.
I
You work
wasn't
with
able
numbers.
To do anything to help those kids when they were being abused by the adults during the days of the CGS. Back then, I thought there was nothing I could do.
I want to remind you that these men were defeated by having their thumbs
Despite
tied
their
together.
horrid treatment, they kept fighting with all their strength.
Go back, check our early reactions.
I remember.
felt
I
like
remember.
such a coward. So I decided to stay here, hoping to be of use, if even in a small way.
That's very noble of you.
And that's when she fell in
I
love with
still
the
wonder if there's
accountant.
anything I can do to help them. Those kids are the ones who are doing.
Oh, that was a
fighting.
flat texture.
As for me, the only thing I can do is sit here and watch.
I feel like there's something we should be doing for them.
Oh, there's
There
no
has to be
depth
at
on that
least one
keyboard.
thing we can offer them as
No,
a
oh,
gift.
no, what is it? Oh.
But whenever I go to them, they're so earnest and intense. It feels like
Management
whatever I was
production
going to say
too.
would be a lie.
Oh, Miss Meribit.
So at the very
Gotta read those spreadsheets quick. Tell us how their income is doing.
I believe he stays
Well, when it was
protected
zoomed in on the
because
accountant
he's the
from
same as I
her
do.
side, you could read bits of it and all like that was management production too.
And be sure to check
Right.
all the bolts. We gotta move quickly but thoroughly.
What do you think about all this? They're crazy, right? Like, totally insane. I mean, the enemy has twice as many freaking ships as we do. You know as well as me, we're not gonna win this thing. So why is everybody so gung-ho?
We don't have another alternative, so the only choice
Then
is
we've
to
literally
work harder.
seen bullets bounce off of our hull. I think we're immortal.
Stupidest thing I've ever...
I hear Orga wants to cut off the head of a
Sorry about
Highlander.
that. I'm begging you, please don't tell the boss what I was saying.
There could be only one, and it's
Like you and
Mikazuki.
Tekkadan. I bet it would have made Orga's life a hell of a lot easier. So no matter what you do, never stop thinking.
Huh?
Yeah, maybe not your most inspiring speech ever.
I mean, to be honest, he was thinking before you got there, so.
I must say, your face is more handsome than I'd imagined.
Really? Why, thank you.
Someone who also cut their hair short.
Someone who is in search of greater strength. A Leia Vignana Type E. It looks like you found your strength in the form of inhuman powers.
The only thing that can draw out the true power of this mobile suit is a human. Remember what I told you a while back? The soldier who had a lot in common with you? It's my belief that the passions and emotions we all exhibit show us that we're human.
This is the hardest diss against
Don't
Mikazuki
deny
ever.
yourself. And never forget, there's someone you trust and respect, and that you're wanting to better yourself for his benefit is the right thing.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's hard to look at those two and say, that's the side I'm rooting against. No, they're the good people. They're the people I've said the entire time.
Made him decide every last
Root for.
detail about Tekkadan's future all by himself. Not to mention we've hustled him around and egged him
Also,
on.
pointedly, they're always the ones who wanted to fight honorably and then got smashed in the face for it.
Again, this is Gundam. War is evil.
Orga's hard work. Our job is easy. When Orga tells us not to worry, we throw away
No,
our
I would argue
doubts
that
and
war
do
is
what's
full
right
of
for
evil
Tekkadan.
people.
You're right.
But not the two you're rooting for.
The plan is to engage Rustal Elion in Earth's orbit. Of course, I'll need Tekkadan to join
Oh,
us
they're
in
all
the
staring
battle.
out the picture window now.
Well, not Mikazuki.
But here's the thing that gets
He's
me.
bored of it
What
already.
You're saying, wouldn't this have turned into a fight with the Arianrod no matter what?
I admit, it was always a possibility. Rustal Elion and the Arianrod fleet he commands have established something of a unique position within the ranks of Gallarhorn. However, I thought with the combined forces of all the families behind me, they wouldn't be such a tough opponent. After all, we still have you and your people. There may be casualties.
General! Casualties. Every man, woman, and child in Tekkadan is a member of our family, understand? Don't just write
Now
them
he's
off as
floating
faceless
without any
nobodies.
assistance. He's like, hey, can you help me?
Listen to me. Tekkadan won't betray someone we've joined up with. That was just to make it clear. But we're not gonna risk our lives.
I punched you to make sure you knew that we were on your side.
So why don't you cut the crap already?
Sure.
Next, I'm gonna pull your hair so you know that I like you.
Just one more battle.
As an angsty teen, I can only express myself with violence.
Yeah, but this is the final battle.
With elementary
Just one
school
more to
tactics.
One more.
This is the last fight.
Tomato.
This is the final battle.
Oh, I like it. I came back. Biscuit did
You're
not.
not gonna eat that? I've been so busy.
Now-
Biscuit should have become a part of an experimental super robot program.
So now tell me who had the more important characters picked in season 1.
Listen up, people. One more fight and we'll get to our goal. So give it your all, got it?
Yes, sir! They keep saying it's the last battle. And hearing them talk like that kind of scares me.
I mean, nobody even remembers Biscuit anymore. No one's talked about him in season 2 at all.
It's okay. I can't stop Mikazuki from leaving us behind. It's like I thought.
Hey, you remember when these things used to have visual data?
No. More so than me or anything else.
Well, hey, you know, not every call has to be a video call.
Yeah, apparently none of them.
It's just called Cornfield House. It's just called Cornfield House.
Child and Family Service.
I've always worked towards that.
But what about the giant hole in the ground
For a while now, I've been sensing a contradiction.
that we never talk about?
The strong bond that holds them together.
It was a streamer moment, you know, they had to take a picture for it.
You know, I hope it comes up in the spin-off series. I can't remember what it's called. It takes place between season 1 and season 2. Like they do something in that creates a giant square-shaped hole in the ground.
Of course I feel like part of the family. I'll keep walking along the path I believe is right. And in the end, that will be what's best for my family. And I believe that feeling will never change. Which is why the only one who can be by Mikazuki's side right now is you, Miss Audra. Seriously?
You know, I hope the massive world government military isn't, like, spying on fucking communications.
Were you asleep?
Nah. What is it?
Oh, nothing. It's just really quiet in here.
Yeah, they all went to the Hota Ruby.
Oh, that explains it.
Are you okay?
So is this really the last battle?
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a tough one, huh?
Well, if I had to say, it's a little easier for me. As long as I'm in Barbatos, my body can move normally, and I don't have to think about anything like...
It's easy?
Hmm?
While you're out there putting your life on the line, all I can do is wait here. If it's easier on you to fight, does that mean that I haven't been able to do anything for you in all this time?
Well, what about that baby we talked about?
I love you, Mikazuki. I love the Mikazuki that's here, right in front of me. You don't have to do this. I might have told you to hug girls when they're crying, but now isn't the time to do it if
That's
you don't...
part of it. But also, I've realized
Mikazuki expressed an opinion.
how precious you are to me.
Do you mean it?
I don't know.
He has an ambition.
That doesn't involve fighting.
He's been wearing the bracelet she gave him
All
since
I've
season
known
1, episode
are the
1.
battlefields that
It's
I've
like a
chosen,
duh moment.
and the ones chosen for me. That's all.
What about now?
I'm fighting, so you can stop crying.
Yeah, he has been wearing the bracelet since the beginning.
And
but
sniffing it, too.
He's never really positively affirmed what he actually feels. This is a good moment.
They're my family.
Is it, or is he just mirroring what's expected of him?
And this battle is really going to be the final one.
I think it might actually be genuine. At least, narratively, this is the genuine moment.
And reclaim Bile.
Then may this ending also be a beginning to their future.
Yeah, I can't wait for the asteroid base that's actually a super weapon to show up.
Next time on Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, if this is the end. I know they say money can't buy love, but I'd sure love to visit the ladies one last time. Hey, Shino, when all this is over, be a pal
Oh,
and
somebody's
take me
not
there.
surviving. But that is, you know what? I have an interesting idea. So, what if this is the story of two psychopaths?
They're all psychopaths.
I know, but some slightly more textual than others. McGillis specifically is one who, by definition, last episode, is someone who puts on a mask and specifically mirrors what everyone wants to hear. He does it entirely intentionally and is highly functional to the point of being the leader of an entire system and now a rebellion specifically to give himself power and control. He is definitely some level of psychopath by the level of manipulation of the young girl he keeps trying to marry. And we do have the reflection of his relationship and declaration of love with Mikazuki's, where Mikazuki is like a lower functioning psychopath in that he doesn't give a shit about putting on any kind of mask. He doesn't express a whole lot of anything anytime except when he's killing. But he does finally warm up to the idea of maybe doing that. He is learning to become a better person and is bettering the people around him, while McGillis is actively dragging everything down with him.
I mean, if you were going to put them into columns,
That
it
would be a narrative text.
It would be McGillis on one side, and it would be Orga and Mikazuki on the other, not just Mikazuki.
Yeah, you're right. I was just throwing out like a fun textual reading of this.
As per our commenter's previous assertion that Mikazuki and Orga are basically one person combined or separated.
Right, yeah, where Orga has way more of the emotional core and is doing all of these things that you would expect the hero to be doing in these moments. And then Mikazuki is more an expression of his will at this point, like the comments said. But here, Mikazuki is growing more as his own character and expressing his own will, which is not what we've used to see. Like, okay, this is good. This is interesting.
Well, you've got that end, and I've got basically just
how do you feel? What do you
my
got?
continuation of the Ryan roller coaster, which is that he's now just a control system on a mech. So I'm mainly just concerned to see what happens with that stuff. And I'm not so much on board with Rustle and his plans. It's just I like Rustle as a character, so I'm on that side of the fence. And
of
that
course.
he's the old charge, the old school, and he's just following through on. We can't let this upstart. Just take control because he pulled the sword from the stone.
Right, there was always going to be people who would say, no, we don't like that rule, and not let him do it, of course. But let's see. What was I thinking about all that? So, as far as Ein goes, I think, Baudrillard's, talk with his companion, earlier was very much the tune of, the emotions of people are really important, uh, only because I'm human and have those do I interact with Ein, because Ein is still actually in there in some actual real part, not just as a control system.
We already saw it.
Yeah.
We already saw when Mikazuki fought the thing, and he unleashed full throttle on it. That's just basically what they're saying. He's just giving words to what we visually already saw with Mikazuki, because Mikazuki was never going to audibly sell us, because he's never going to talk about what he felt.
Actually, as far as like the text, which I was talking about earlier, like the story of two psychopaths, the little intermediary where he has that moment of just like having these emotions is what makes us human. I'm still a human pilot, and so are you. Which was funny at the time as a dig at Mikazuki, but reading back into it as text, like that's kind of a funny setup watching the parallel and then having that in the middle of it. Literally, that's the point where like the perspective changes from McGillis's side, flip, with that conversation, and then Mikazuki.
I didn't see it as a dig on Mikazuki. It was just, I see where you see it is, but I saw it more as a conversation between those two characters.
Oh yeah, no, it's 100% in text. It's just their conversation.
Well, no,
but
I mean,
for
because
the way
she
we've
already,
been reading this the whole time.
She already had that introspective moment when she was fighting against Naze and crew about why she's so much better than me. She already had that introspective moment, and that conversation was the answer to her unanswered question. So I'm saying, I can see where you're seeing it as the writers giving this character the ability to make a dig on Mikazuki without actually being anywhere around him. But I'm saying this was an in-depth conversation that answered one character's introspective problems through the course of another character's story arc. So it had really nothing to do with Mikazuki, but I can see where you're reading into it as being that.
Yeah. So we've definitely have had our digs at this show in the past for, doing a whole bunch of really goofy stuff. But here I think the writers actually have done a very good job. I think this was very good literature.
Well, it's not so much a straight line anymore. I appreciate that. Where before it was, that's the bad guy, straight line my opinion. My opinion is bad guy bad. Now let's go that way. Now everyone's like a triangle. Well, on this side, this is why the other guys, we shouldn't fight them. And why maybe their thoughts on this or this. And on the other side of the triangle is, alright, these are the guys we allied with, and we don't make promises. Punch him in the face so he knows that we don't agree with him, but we're still signed along with him. And the tip of the triangle is, bad guys bad still.
I'm seeing a little bit of a triangle too. It's like, all right, so you have like our protagonists, they're the good guys. Then you'll have McGillis, he's the evil guy, and then you have Rustle, he's the bureaucracy guy. So we have good, evil, and bureaucracy all balancing with each other.
Oh, to clarify, when I was saying the triangle, I meant each character is a triangle.
Yes, each individual.
Yeah, not that the whole story was a triangle.
They are complicated and multifaceted. They are not exactly all one note and only good or bad. They are interesting individuals, all forced into war, and war itself is bad because it'll kill them.
Each one is an individual Venn diagram where the overlaps are different elements based on their different perspectives. I mean, I can respect that more than 90% of Season 1.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know who I miss?
So it really did take 40 episodes to get good.
You know who I miss? Atmos.
Oh boy, yep.
She was there for so long, and then she was gone.
And then next episode, we're going to find out she was downloaded into the ship AI.
I mean, she was a spy
and
for so long.
now she pilots the Millennium Falcon.
She was a spy for so long, and then we got her episode backstory, and it's like, there could have been so much more there. It feels like Season 1 was like, let's throw a bunch of ideas at the wall, and then some of them stuck, and they used those for the second half of Season 1. And then they decided to expand upon those things that stuck, and that's where they built Season 2.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, looking back, Atmos really did get used as a resource for Cordelia's arc, didn't they?
And then we don't use Cordelia in Season 2.
And then she's just kind of entirely out of here for 20 episodes.
Well, remember, last episode, it's like, I thought I was part of the family too. Why are they excluding me? That's literally all of Season 1 is, this is our maiden of rebellion. We have to push her to the front. And then Season 2 is like, well, I guess we don't really need a rebellion. I guess we really just solved it with military action. I guess you could just be, I don't know, corporate boss now?
I do have to compare it to Gundam Wing, where they do some goofy shit, but I'm forgetting the female lead's name again. It's not Cordelia, it is
Relena?
Relena Peacecraft. There we go. She is still instrumental throughout the plot. Even if she's doing like these ridiculously silly things, she is still actively pushing things throughout the entire thing.
Because she is who she is through the entire show. Whereas, I'm about to call this woman Dorothy because now I'm Gundam Wing. You know, Dorothy, the side female character who's like instigating all this shit. Anyway.
Yes,
Kudelia here has to learn who she is, build up to the point that she is who she is 100%, and then gets dropped. Relina,
yeah, she had an arc and it's done.
Relina doesn't really ever get dropped to the point where she's like running a school and running a country and then arguing against her brother once Zex becomes Milliardo. And it's like she's very much still on the table.
I think you hit it there, actually. Relina is a flat character arc. Her existence in the story is to better other people by her maintaining the course here. Everyone else gets a positive arc because they interact with her flat arc.
Well, I mean, Relina develops. She has an arc. But her arc is an emotional, maybe societal one. Whereas, whereas as compared to, if you were going to compare hers and Kudelia's is very much an adventure arc. Whereas Relina's is, I am royalty.
Trying to convince other people to her way.
Well, no, it's more, I'm royalty and I need to understand the world better. But positionally, my position never changes, nor does my concept of what's right and wrong. Whereas Kudelia has an adventure, which I guess reaches an arc and then flops off. And she just, for some reason, becomes a corporate boss.
I feel like she's got to be pulled out in some of these last 5 episodes to do another big speech, specifically pro or against rebellion or something. She's got to do it. That's what she was built up for in the first place.
We haven't seen her leave her office once in 20 episodes.
That is true.
Sorry.
She has only been in one location.
18 episodes. We haven't seen her leave her office in 18 episodes. I feel like they had these two character in the background. It's like, shit, we can't move these two things apart.
We gotta have her in the room with the picture of the hole. The hole is very important to your character.
You know,
I love the details.
Again, I'll be 100% in if somewhere during the fight that like we had to pull out our super weapon and we look back at the picture of the hole in her office and it zooms in far enough that we're actually at the hole. The ground opens up and a giant space laser.
A space laser all the way from Mars, hell yeah.
Countdown till orbit aligns with the fleet.
Oh my gosh, Kudelia fires the Death Star laser. Yeah, I would... That would be amazing.
It's,
So before we...
It's Chekhov's hole in the ground.
Yeah, oh yeah, they put it on the mantelpiece and now they gotta use it. So before we get to Star Wars here, I think that's probably where we should go ahead and end off here. This has been Stoneface Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we will catch you all next time. See ya, everybody. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?